What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new around here, I'm Ryan, and I'm gonna give you a little backstory, and I promise this all comes full circle, but a little bit about me. From the time that I was a little bitty kid, I absolutely loved cars, be it playing with Hot Wheels, Power Wheels, playing video games, watching movies that revolved around cars, any type of car content, car toy, you name it. That's where my passion started. And then as I got older and finally got my license, that's where I actually started getting hands-on with cars, modifying them, and those little toy Hot Wheels turned into life-size, real deal obsession. I'm not brand specific, brand loyal. I love anything and everything. The motto here at the Chaos Car Club is we are exclusively unexclusive. And I say that from the bottom of my heart. I love all makes and models. So I go from everything from an old school American muscle 60s, 70s muscle car show to stance car shows with mainly like JDM European influence. So I run the gauntlet, motorcycles too. So if you name it, I've probably been to those type of car shows. And I've kind of out myself. I'm an old man at this point, but I've had skin in the game for 25 years at this point. So I've seen it all. I've hosted events. Chaos Car Club started not just as a YouTube channel or not just me. I mean, I've kind of made up for it with all my cars. Now I'm kind of my own little car club, but it really actually started with a core group of people. And I built that core group with people I trusted, people I knew that were like-minded like myself, and I knew their values. I knew that when we met up, yes, we're gonna cause some chaos, but in an orderly fashion. So that kind of leads me to my next point is like, I've seen all these videos about SlammedEnuff Gatlinburg and the effect that it's had on the car community. I've seen a lot of pointing fingers and placing blame, but there's been no accountability or no solutions proposed. So I debated making this video. I went back and forth because I try to stay in my own lane, do my own thing, work on cars, enjoy cars, just build a little small community. And I leave all the BS out of it. But what happened, and I'll explain if you don't know, but what happened in SlammedEnuff Gatlinburg, that I kind of took to heart, and it's been weighing on my chest ever since. That's been about a week and a half or so ago. And reading all the news articles, seeing all the video from it and everything. And like, I feel like the car community right now is being personally attacked. Like we have like this little black cloud following over the car community at large. And that's where I feel like I have to step in, because like the saying always goes, one match can burn out a forest. So I feel like if I don't speak out, I'm not helping. So if this video can at least get through to one person or change the mind of somebody out there, then I feel like it's success. But I come from the background of not only participating in car events, but I've hosted and ran. Like I said, I had a car club back in the day, and so I've set events up. I know how events go. I've never had anything as big as SlammedEnuff, but on a smaller scale, I feel like I can relate. So what happened at SlammedEnuff isn't even, and I hate to even attach their name to it, but that's unfortunately what's going on right now, is SlammedEnuff is in the crosshairs because of what happened, not at their show, but at kind of a late night, what started out should be like a park and chill type meet. So it started, I'm sure I wasn't there. We were staying like an hour and a half away. So we were back in Silva at this point when all this was going on. But what happened was people started gathering, more and more and more folks started gathering, and it just got kind of out of control at that point. So it just got to the point where people were standing on gas pumps. People were street racing, like blocking off the strip, street racing down the strip and back. Heard there was a car chase, all kinds of just antagonize the police. I mean, it was ugly. That's the best way to sum it up. But I'm not gonna harp on that anymore. Let's talk about solutions. How do we prevent a situation from getting out of hand, and what can we do as true car enthusiasts to help other car enthusiasts realize like their actions have a larger effect. So I'm looking at it from two different perspectives. Or three different perspectives, honestly. So I've been in the game for so long. I've been a car event organizer. I'm also, I don't like to use the word influencer because I have such a small community, but for the all intents and purposes of this video, we'll say I have the influencer side of things. I do the YouTube and everything like that. So I understand chasing likes and chasing views, that kind of thing. So, and then I've also just been a participant of all these things. So way back, like I said, when I started getting into cars, trust you me, like I've had my fun then, and I've had my fun now. And that's where I want to lean into what the solution for some of these things are. Because social media, let's be real, social media drives a ton of attention. And I feel like that's what people want, is that, 15 minutes of fame, or really all it takes is one video, one post to skyrocket you into fame or fortune, whatever people think it is. Because again, don't be wrong, like I would love to have 100,000 subscribers. So I get it. I understand, putting out great content or wanting to put out great content to maybe strike it gold at some point. And I feel like that's what people are doing nowadays to then cause them to do these things. So what we used to do back in the day, so we would go have our meetups. Well, when they got larger and larger, and even when they were smaller, we would park, chill, talk. And if we wanted to go get rowdy, we would take it away from that original meet spot. So we don't want to disrespect the lot. So if we wanted to go street race, because trust you me, like there were tons of races set up from those meets. So we would discuss, get the trash talking with somebody, and you would set the race up, but then you would leave the meet, just two, maybe three of you, maybe a chase car, and then the two cars racing, go off where nobody else is. So you don't need all the attention. You can go do your social media thing, film the race, where, again, I don't want to sit here and say I want to condone this, but realistically, I'm just one person. These are my ideas. I want to open this dialogue between us. What's your solution? But from my perspective, it's kind of like it's telling your kid to be abstinent. That's not realistic. So how do you best prepare them? You tell them about protection. So in this case, how do we protect the car community? Take it out of the big, large spaces. So if you want to go cut up and do donuts, been there, done that. We, again, have our core meet, park and chill, decide, hey, we want to get rowdy. We go find some secluded lot, church, school, business, close down businesses, somewhere away from public eye. None of these things ever came to light. This was way before social media. So I mean, at this point, like, you go do those things, film it for your social media, get your reels, get your TikToks, whatever it is you want. You still get to be rowdy, get to make your content, but it doesn't put a black eye on the car community at large. That's what I want people to understand, is we got to do something. And just saying, oh, do better, I'm sorry, that's not gonna fix it. Trust you me, like, I wish that was the case, that would just stick. But like I said, the mindset is you're chasing those views, chasing the likes. So I feel like, pushing, if you're at a meet, because I've heard people say, oh, well, try to stop them from doing that. I'm sorry, but if somebody is about to get in a fist fight, because that happened, somebody's about to get in a fist fight, I'm not getting in the middle of that. There were unfortunately weapons at that meet and everything. So in that weekend in Tennessee, so I'm not getting involved with that. But the ones that are like revving and doing burnouts, hey, tell them, let's take this, take this somewhere secluded, do it there. So that could be potentially one possibility, is still have your fun, just away from the public eye. The second thing I propose is private meets, unfortunately. So, and I know that it's easier said than done a lot of times, because a private meet, just from being an event organizer, it would start off with 10 of us. And then, you have your buddy, then he tells his friends, and then they start showing up. And then smaller group gets to be out of control. So that's at least an option though, at least to start with. Maybe move your locations around. I want to talk on, especially because this was at Gatlinburg, so there was an event, so there was all these people there and they're just looking for something to do. That's a little trickier. But maybe if, like Jimmy's Market, they could have charged entry fee, so pay to park and chill. So I mean, like, not only could you do a private meet, but some of these businesses, or if you have a lot, that kind of thing, you can control that, because once money starts flying, even if it's a $5 or $10 entry fee, that weeds out a lot of people. So, which is sad, because I mean, 5 or 10 bucks, you don't eat McDonald's for a day. You got that money, but a lot of people they'll see that entry fee and that puts them out. So I think some of those could work. Like, I just picture Ponies and the Smokies. They actually put out their own little statement due to what happened, because again, that put a black eye. Like, everybody in that town, it's not that big, but they're looking at all the other events now. Rod Run, Ponies and the Smokies. They're kind of looking at them like, oh, they're modified cars, so we don't want to have them in our local community causing ruckus. So I'm sure those event organizers, that's why they put the statement out, because I'm sure they're kind of a little nervous too, because they're like, they don't want the community to just say, nope, we don't want you anymore. So they have night meets as well. So Ponies and the Smokies is like a 4 or 5 day event, kind of like Mustang Week, but in the mountains. And they have the unofficial meets at like Quaker Steak and Lube. So that whole restaurant is like the unofficial hangout, because it's a really cool spot. It gives you like that Need for Speed vibe kind of thing, where it's underneath a bridge, everybody's got their cars lined up, it's a nighttime, just nighttime changes the game. So, but if you start charging people to enter the lot, you kind of regulate who's coming, who's going, kind of keep an eye on it. Again, possibly weed out the people that just don't want to pay. So I don't know what the solution is. Like I said, these are my 3 ideas. Is, yeah, just private meets 100%, so that way it's like, you only know about it, like it's not publicized. And that's not to keep everybody from finding out, but at least to start with, that might solve it. So maybe private meets, the pay to park, that way you weed out some people, or continue what's going on right now and just try to lure the people that are doing the crazy things to, hey, do those crazy things elsewhere. But I just wanted to put out a video just to throw out, like I said, solutions or potential solutions, because these might all suck. I don't know, that's for you to determine. I kind of want to, like I said, have an open dialogue. So give me some feedback down below. What are your thoughts on Gatlinburg? How do we solve it? Because it's a problem and I just don't see it going away. So I just couldn't sit back and ignore it. So I do want to shine a light on it to figure out what can be done as a car community, because cars aside, even if you don't have a car, the car community is wonderful. The people that I've met, the experiences that I've had, like I said, I've been in the car community for a long time. My very first car was a V6 Mustang. Do you think that thing was fast? Absolutely not. Did I have a lot of fun with it? Absolutely. But I was welcomed with open arms. When we would go street racing and stuff, I got a lot of ride-alongs because my car wasn't winning any races, so I would, hey, can I ride with you? That kind of thing. So you don't even have to have a car. People are just so nice and so willing to share. You learn so much, and I've gained some of my best friends in life from car meets. Literally met, I can think of 2 people right now that I met on a message board. Again, dating myself, they don't have those anymore, but met 2 people off a message board. I've met 3 offhand, literally just talking to them at a car show. And that's how we kind of clicked and became friends from there. So I don't want to lose that, because at the core, yes, the cars are kind of like the glue, but it's the people that keep it going. And without a common bond, I would have never formed those friendships. So I hate to see that crumble. And unfortunately, the world at large, modified cars are the minority. I mean, I'm 30 minutes outside of Raleigh. If I drive into Raleigh, the major city, the capital of North Carolina, I might see 1 car in that trip, 1 modified car. The rest is just regular traffic. And I don't know if it's like that in your area, but Raleigh's a pretty big hub because Cars and Coffee is one of the largest on the East Coast out here. And it draws in 1,000, maybe 2,000 cars. But you think the whole population of Raleigh and the surrounding areas, and you only get 2,000 cars, that's a small percentage. So I know my personal algorithm is full of cars, so you know, it kind of looks as though the car community is giant, but it's really not. It's really, really small, so we need to protect it. Like I said, I want to hear your feedback down below. Listen, Rack, share your ideas. Tell me mine suck, whatever you want, but let's get that discussion going in the comments. But I do want to thank everybody for watching. Like I said, I went to SlammedEnuff Gatlinburg, so I've got several videos because Paul and I went up there for 40, we both turned 40, so we spent the weekend doing what car guys love to do, hanging out and driving our cars. So working on getting those videos edited and pushed out. But I want to thank y'all for watching. Make sure you smash that subscribe button, and we'll catch y'all in the next one.